Yes, sir.
Boss, let me know if it gets low. My last game it was really, really low, man. So let me know if I'm not loud enough, okay?
A very pleasant evening in the great Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Washington, home to the University of Washington Huskies and the Alaska Airlines Arena as the Huskies look for their first win as they play host to the Cal State Fullerton Titans. And Trey Coggins, who put up 18 threes in a recent double overtime win against Portland State, going up against, of course, Markelle Fultz, one of the most prized freshmen in the entire country. Welcome on the court inside Heckett. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Huskies Hall of Famer Eldridge Recaster. We just saw Markelle Fultz. A lot of hype, a lot of buzz for Fultz in his debut not long ago against Yale. He did not disappoint, Eldridge. 30 points for Fultz.
Well, Markelle Fultz is one of the most talked about freshmen in all of America. And like you said, he didn't disappoint. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Silky smooth as we see him here going to the basket, finishing with ease. Always under control, Aaron. I think Husky fans are going to love him. Tough shot right there. But not only can he drive to the basket, he can pull up and knock down the outside shot as we see right here. He's a great all-around player. Dunking it right here on the break. Markelle Fultz is the real deal.
You can see what his final line was, 30 points, most ever by a UW freshman in his debut. 7 boards, 6 assists. Fultz did just about everything for the Huskies not long ago against Yale. Well, we mentioned that game against the Bulldogs out of the Ivy League. 98-90 the final score. Yale winning that game here in Seattle. 98 points this Huskies defense gave up. What do they have to do better?
They've got to defend, plain and simple. I mean, the defense was bad. You know, they were getting beat on backdoor cuts. No help from the weak side. They wasn't talking on defense. Pick and roll, they didn't have help from the weak side. The Huskies got to defend, number one, and they got to rebound. They got to finish it with the defensive rebound.
Now the Huskies defense gave up 21 offensive rebounds to Yale, and time after time, as you can see, just too many easy buckets for Yale, who came here to Seattle and took the opener for the Huskies. We come back here to the Alaska Airlines Arena. The Huskies and the Titans. Tip-off is next. Huskies looking for their first win of the season here tonight, hosting Cal State Fullerton. The Titans, as the Huskies dropping a game on Sunday against Yale in their opener. Starters being introduced here inside the Alaska Airlines Arena. Welcome once again. Pac-12 basketball on Pac-12 Network. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Eldridge Ricastner. As we take a look at the Cal State Fullerton Titans starting lineup. Kyle Allman just named Big West Player of the Week, coming up 27 points against Portland State. Trey Coggins, 47 minutes he played in that double overtime win against Portland State. 31 points, and at 5'10", Lionheart Leslie, he dropped 16 a season ago against the Huskies in this very building. Their head coach, Diedrich Taylor, in his 4th season, former Arizona State associate head coach. That was during the Herb Sendek days, also James Harden days in Tempe, and his counterpart Lorenzo Romar, now in his 15th season in Seattle. Former Husky himself during his playing days. David Crisp, the sophomore out of Tacoma. Matisse Thybulle, overshadowed by Fultz in the opener on Sunday. Thybulle, very impressive, 20 points, 4 boards, 6 blocks, 3 for 4 from downtown. Of course, Fultz, we've covered him already, 30 points in 36 minutes. Sam Timmons, the freshman out of New Zealand, spent much of last season, especially non-conference play, practicing with the Huskies since coming over from out of country. Well, the dog pack is warmed up and ready to go as we are moments away from tip-off. And Eldridge, when you think back to what happened here inside Alaska Airlines Arena on Sunday, a surprising loss, fair to say, against Yale out of the Ivy League. And we know the defense was a problem. Fultz was spectacular, but it sounds like defensive intensity has been what has been preached by head coach Lorenzo Romar over the week.
Oh, without a doubt. They had an exhibition game against Western Washington and gave up 103 points. So defense is a concern right now for Lorenzo Romar and his staff. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's all they worked on all week. And we're about to find out if it's going to help.
Sam Timmons, Markelle Fultz. Fultz, the most points ever scored by a Huskies freshman in his debut with 30. Lorenzo Romar saying today at shoot-around he wants Fultz to be in attack mode all game long. Titans win the tip coming off that double overtime win against Portland State. Playing here for the 2nd consecutive season. Allman at the top. There is Coggins right away, puts up a 3 and hits.
And he's picking up where he left off last game. 18 threes, and he's got 1 already.
It was 8 for 18.
Wow.
From downtown, 31 points total. Timmons, good backdoor. Thybulle with the 2-hand slam.
Well, Matisse Thybulle must have been paying attention to the videotape from the Yale game, because he hits Fullerton with a backdoor cut and a nice dunk.
That's what Yale did all night long against the Huskies. Allman off the dribble against Fultz. Jackson Rowe. And Rowe hits.
Yeah, the young fella, a freshman, but not afraid to step out and knock down the perimeter jumper.
Couple of threes early on for the Titans. Thybulle looking for dime. Timmons picks up the loose ball. Backing down, finding space, and a rejection underneath by Jackson Rowe. This will stay, or will it go?
Doesn't look like either ref saw it, Aaron. They're trying to decide. They're going to jump it up. Possession goes to Washington. That was a great block by Jackson Rowe, coming over from the weak side.
David Crisp to inbounds. Crisp quickly off the high pass.
Yeah, that's what David Crisp does. Come off screens and knock down jump shots. You can see him slapping his hands. He's pumped up.
Lionheart Leslie at the point right now. Go back and take a look at that three-pointer.
Yeah, David Crisp coming off the down screen. If you give him a chance to square up, he's going to knock most of them down, Aaron, and that one was all bottoms.
Found a way for the ball on Malik Dime.
And it appears to be a little bit of talking going on between Malik Dime and Darcy Malone here early.
Lionheart Leslie now in his 2nd season out of junior college. Tough season last year for the Titans, 10-20, just 3-13 in the Big West. Returning 3 starters this year. Coggins puts it up from deep, and he's 2 for 2 from downtown.
I'll tell you what, Trey Coggins takes a lot of threes, but he obviously makes a lot of threes. 2 for 2. Beautiful shot.
Fultz behind the back, sets himself up. Simmons gets away with what looked like a hack. It stays with the Huskies.
You know, Matisse Thybulle was Washington's best defender, but I tell you what, he's going to have to be in Trey Coggins' hip pocket all night, or he's going to light the Huskies up.
And bounce to Timmons. Back door, gets it stripped. Leslie bringing it across with a skip pass and a two-hand flush.
No, sir, that's a block.
My goodness. Fultz, we saw him do that against Yale once.
I tell you what, Aaron, I love the way Markel Fultz can run down cats on the pass break, man. This looks like an easy dunk, and out of nowhere comes Markel Fultz. He's a great shot blocker.
Thybulle fading away. Diamond early rebound. Something the Huskies wanted to see him do more of against Yale. Wide open, Markel Fultz from the wing.
Nice, the young fella took his time and knocked it down there. And I tell you, offensively, Markel Fultz has a complete game.
I've seen a lot of threes taken early on both sides. Crisp, Fultz for the Huskies. Of course, Coggins 2 already for the Titans. Rowe as well. Allman with 10 to shoot. And Lorenzo Romar not pleased at all with this whistle.
As we watch the young fella Markel Fultz knock down a 3-ball.
First foul on Fultz.
Yeah, the ref's trying to get Jackson Rowe to tuck in his jersey.
Coggins puts it on the deck, fades away. Thybulle's arm up in the air, but off the glass.
I'm not sure if he called glass on that one, Aaron. I'm not buying that one. That was a great contest by Matisse Thybulle, but Trey Coggins, the scorer he is, knocks it down anyway.
8 of the 11 for the Titans from Trey Coggins, who comes up with a loose ball here.
Yeah, you know, last year, and he had 41 against somebody, so he could flat out score the basketball.
Coggins, a graduate senior transfer from Air Force, averaged 15 points a game last year for the academy. Allman on the floor taking on Sam Timmons, and a blocking foul. And Romar is about to blow his top.
He had to be inside the circle because that was clearly a charge, so he must have been inside the circle. Yeah, Coach Romar is not happy. Can't tell from that angle, Aaron, if he was inside the circle or not. But clearly looked like a charge to me.
I feel like Lorenzo Romar might sign with you.
Yeah, Coach is not a happy camper right now.
Allman gets the first.
2 substitutions for the Huskies. Checking in number 15, Noah Dickerson.
Let's take a look here and see if we can see if he. Oh yeah, there you go. You see his feet right on the line. So good call by the official.
Checking in for the Titans, number 12, Jamal Smith.
Dominic Green on the floor now for the Huskies. He's joined by Noah Dickerson. Dime gets a breather.
Yeah, Noah Dickerson coming off an ankle injury, I believe. Started most of the games last year, but coming off the bench so far this year. But a great fundamentally sound interior player for the Huskies.
Now the Huskies returning leading scorer from a season ago. And they get it right away to Dickerson. Awkward take, but a foul.
I tell you, Aaron, he's not going to overwhelm you with his athleticism, but as far as footwork and knowing how to score and knowing how to get position, I'll give Noah Dickerson an A+ in that area. He's really fundamentally sound.
It seemed like every game last year for Dickerson, he was bloodied or bruised one way or another. Last year forced to be the 5 more times than not, mostly out of necessity. 6'8", 245 out of Atlanta.
Pretty decent free throw shooter. Got a shooter's bounce on that one.
Dickerson from Atlanta, but spent some time in high school in Florida as he gets both. Here's Jamal Smith in the game. son of associate head coach John Smith for the Titans. Skip pass to the elbow. Green the rebound, and here come the Huskies.
Yeah, the big fella Richard Peters didn't look comfortable shooting that jumper.
Quickly back to Fultz for three.
And Markelle Fultz off to a good start, knocking down the three balls there, and that's going to open up the drive for him later on in the game.
And both teams hot from distance. Titans 3 for 3. Huskies 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Oh, right off the face of Coggins. On the end line and to the Huskies. What a start here tonight from Seattle. Tied at 13. Both teams beginning to dial things up from outside three-point range. Coggins has 3. Has 2 3-pointers. Fultz has 2 of his own. Men's basketball game is presented by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. Tonight's Pac-12 men's basketball game is presented by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. Also, the Black Bear Diner, good old-fashioned family food. And by Supercuts, save time, check in online with our mobile app or at supercuts.com. Happy to have you with us here tonight on a very beautiful evening from Seattle. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Eldridge Kastner. 13 apiece in the early goings here tonight as the Huskies looking for their first win of the season. And we have seen both teams, Trey Coggins for the Titans, Markelle Fultz and company for the Huskies, not afraid to take shots from behind the arc.
No, they're both letting it go. The two guys we highlighted in the open off to great starts as the Huskies get a turnover here.
Now Dominic Green tripped as Fultz looked his way. So Devon Clare on the floor now, looking down by the baseline for Coggins. Coggins spots up, and he has hit his third.
He is on fire from last game. Wow. Trey Coggins can flat out put the ball in the basket, Aaron.
He's got 11 of the Titans' 16. Looking for Timmons on the short corner. Back to Timmons. Working his way in. Up, under, and through.
A nice move. I don't think he really knew what he wanted to do here. It looked like he got lost there for a second. I thought he was going to travel, but the big fella ended up getting to go down.
Timmons 6'11", 265, the freshman out of New Zealand. That just might be Coggins' range. You can see Green up over him. Clare, deep straightaway 2. Too strong to Green.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's Clare's game, shooting pull-up jumpers.
High screen. Fultz wants his third three-pointer, and he finds it.
And I tell you what, Markelle Fultz is living up to the hype. Aaron, 3 for 3 from 3.
He's got 9 points. Remember, he had 30 on Sunday at his Huskies debut. As this goes the other way.
Well, we talked about stretching defense. The Huskies are extending theirs. Markel Fultz come off the high pick and roll. Yak him. Knocks it down. Young fella's got a nice stroke, huh?
Now this is the second time already in this first half that we've seen the officials look like have to orchestrate some chatter between the two sides.
Well, there's a little bit of trash talking going on out there. Somebody's trying to get an edge mentally. Don't think intimidation doesn't happen out there now, because it does.
Jamal Smith charged with the foul, his first. Fultz looking for Dickerson, but curls up top, and a foul on the ball.
Yeah, that was a ticky-tacky one on Jamal Smith right there. I thought that was pretty good defense.
A lot of talk this year about it's not a rule change year for college basketball, but there certainly are points of emphasis. And the cylinder, Eldridge. Was the cylinder around when you were playing here?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Dominic Green falling back. Thibault battling for the rebound. Last touch stays with the Huskies. But this idea of the cylinder, and basically you're entitled to your own space.
Yeah, everybody would have fouled out in my day, and basically that's what that means. Nobody cared about your cylinder back in the 80s.
Fultz to the bench. Crisp comes back in. And it's Crisp to inbounds. Many saying Dominic Green may be the most improved over the offseason for the Huskies. And another foul. Devon Claire's first.
I'll tell you what, Devon Claire is going to be in trouble if he doesn't get any help down there against Noah Dickerson, because Noah Dickerson is pretty crafty on the offensive end on the block.
And he's got him by 3 inches and 40 pounds.
Look, they're talking again. You got to love it, though.
Well, it's not as if these two teams are very familiar with each other over the grand scheme of things. My goodness. Jackson Rowe this time. Freshman out of Toronto. Coggins on Crisp. Thibault, a monster game against Yale, 20 points. Pretty pass to Dime. Over the head of Crisp. Over and back.
Yeah, Matthew Atui, I don't think he really known for his offense, got stuck with the ball, didn't really know what to do with it, and turned it over. He's a guy Lorenzo Romar is excited about, though. A big body on the inside, giving him another guy to get some rebounds. I gotta ask this, Aaron. You think Lionheart is really on his birth certificate? You think it's just is that a nickname? What do you think?
I think it's the real deal.
It's the real deal, huh? Lionheart Leslie. All right.
Lionheart at 5'10", senior, 170 pounds. Attaway on the ball. Into the corner. Coggins heaves up another and buries it.
Well, you just can't help off of him, Aaron. You know, Noah Dickerson tried to help. You can't leave that guy right there. He's 4 for 4.
He's got 14 of the 19 for the Titans. His 4th three-pointer. Green off the dribble. Tucking. Finishing with the left hand.
Nice by Dominic Green. More known for shooting spot-up threes, but he put it on the floor that time and finished with his left hand. Nice move.
Huskies by 1 now. Carlos Johnson looking to check in for the Huskies. Dominic Green's hand in the face of Coggins. This is unreal.
Trey Coggins on fire. Aaron, he's putting on a clinic.
He's got 17.
Woo.
Coggins has been perfect, 5 for 5 from behind the arc. Thibault loses it, recovered by Claire. Titans a chance to add to their narrow lead as Leslie weaving through traffic.
Man, we are seeing one shooting exhibition so far in here in the first half by Trey Coggins.
This is amazing.
Somebody must have said something to him to tick him off, because I tell you what, man, he's going to get a break.
Austin Awoshika checking in, the freshman out of Chino Hills, California.
Lorenzo Romo got to be happy about Trey Coggins getting the break right here, and I tell you that.
Green looking over the head of Dickerson, out of bounds. How about this for a start? 22-20 is how this one's going. A lot of shots from behind the arc, but Dominic Green, nice job off the bounce.
Yeah, nice finish with his left hand. Dominic Green.
All right, Eldridge, let's get to know the Cal State Fullerton program a little bit better with tonight's Cold Hard Facts presented by Coors Light. You can see their fourth-year head coach, Deidre Taylor, founded in 1957. Over 40,000 enrollment for Cal State Fullerton. How about this? Kevin Costner and Gwen Stefani, some notable alums.
I'll give you a cold hard fact. Trey Coggins can't be stopped right now. He's on fire.
He has been absolutely amazing. 5 for 5 from distance. He has 17 of the 22 points for Cal State Fullerton.
In 8 minutes, he has 17 points. Hasn't missed a shot. You know, we were joking in the pregame talking about he took 18 threes, but man, he can flat out shoot the basketball.
And that last shot we just saw him make with Dominic Green's hand right in his face, that wasn't enough.
He's in his zone. You know, when a guy, look, you can tell by the look in his eyes as we look at him on the bench. He's feeling it, man.
And for some reason, he is on the bench. Now remember, he played 47 minutes in that recent double overtime win against Portland State. Carlos Johnson on the floor now, a touch on the wing. With 1 second on the shot clock, Dominic Green off the front rim, and Leslie pushing the tempo. Allman on the baseline spinning. Wide open. Devon Clare taking and is able to touch it through.
Yeah, it was a beautiful driving kick, but Devon Clare didn't settle. Gave a little head fake and took it to the basket and scored. Nice move.
4-point lead for the Titans. Dominic Green, a three of his own.
That's Dominic Green's game right there, Aaron. He wants to come off and shoot the perimeter jumper. He knocked that one down.
By the way, the Titans just a moment ago getting their first, if you can believe this, their first rebound of the game. This ball controlled by Crisp. He'll take it three in transition. Dickerson fighting for it. And a travel. So Dime still on the bench for the Huskies. The senior captain, Matthew Attaway, who did not play much at all, got into early foul trouble once he did eventually come off the bench. Still on the floor for UW. Foul called as Woshika trying to take things off the dribble. Johnson's first.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about defense, Aaron, I think the guys that really struggle are the freshmen. You know, that the defense is probably the last thing that they pick up. Oh, nice pass.
Pretty pass and a deadly finish by Jackson Rome.
Yeah, that was a beautiful dish by Kyle Allman there, and Jackson Rome just threw it down.
Crisp loses it. Taking all the way off the front of the rim. As Claire trying to finish.
Yeah, we see Allman with a nice dish. And the young fella throws it down.
16 fouls on Washington.
First foul on Dickerson. Huskies now with 6 fouls.
You know, last year Noah Dickerson found himself in foul trouble a lot. You know, I talked about being a freshman. That's something you probably don't work on a lot. I ain't gonna say probably, something definitely that they don't work on a lot in high school. All the guys are thinking about scoring. Then you come to the collegiate level, and defense is a must.
Dickerson and Attaway getting a breather now. Dime and Simmons back on the floor. Claire gets just the front end. We have seen the Titans with 11 points off of Huskies turnovers. Miscommunication. Timmons looking for Dime.
Yeah, I don't know if Dime was supposed to be in that spot, and Timmons just threw it because that's what the play called for. But Dime was making a cut to the basket. Timmons was throwing to the corner.
8 turnovers for the Huskies. Half that for Cal State Fullerton.
Well, Coggins will check back into the ball game, Aaron. Markel Folks is going to take the assignment this time. Let's see what he can do.
Coggins with 17, 5 for 5 from behind the arc. Ramos into the corner off the top of the backboard. And a U-dump.
Yeah, that one was that one was way off.
Well, for as many makes as we have seen, that one stands out even more so from Kyle Allman. So far, Titans 6 for 7 from three-point range. Huskies 5 for 8.
Yeah, both teams are shooting it well.
Timmons gets the pocket picked. Awoshika up and under and able to touch it through.
Yeah, nice move. Awoshika used the rim for his protection. Took it in for the little nice reverse.
Now, turnovers have been a major story early. 13 points off of turnovers for the Titans on 9 Husky turnovers. Coggins reversing. Awoshika gets this picked up. Bolts behind the back to Dime, and Dime is fouled.
Yeah, you gotta love Markel Folks. His vision, man. He can handle that rock too, Aaron. He makes it look really, really easy. Nice dish to Dime, and he got fouled. He's about to probably go up and dunk that ball. But Markel Folks, man, I tell you what, I'm impressed with what I see so far.
Now Folks 9 points, all coming on threes.
Foul came before any shot. Charge foul to number 0, Kyle Allman. That's his first.
Allman charged with the foul. Timmons to the bench. Johnson as well. Attaway back on the floor for the Huskies, missing the last 2 years with injury and transferring from the elbow. Right through for Dickerson, who's got 4.
Yeah, Dickerson can do that. He can square up and knock down the 15-footer, Aaron. That's one of his beauties. Not only is he good on the block, but he can step out and knock down the perimeter jumper as well.
Cuts the lead to 4. Dickerson on the other end pulls down the rebound. Bolts looking for Dime. Left-hand foul.
Tom was going with the left-handed sky hook, man. How you like that?
Of course, Dime at 6'9", a 7'5" wingspan.
I was going to say if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is somewhere watching, he's probably smiling. It's rare you see a left-handed sky hook.
Last year, besting Robert Upshaw's single-season block record by 1 with 88.
Yeah, he was a great rim protector for the Huskies last year, and I expect him to be the same this season.
Both teams in the bonuses. Dime misses the first. Gets the second, his first point of the night. Now 3-point lead for the Titans. Pretty quiet night for Thibault, who's guarding the ball. After a very strong showing in the opener against Yale. Claire, a block call. Second one tonight against the Huskies.
Well, one thing you can see Claire is not going to do, he's not going to settle for the jump shot, you know.
We'll step aside. Timeout on the floor. Under 8 minutes to go here in the first half. This is a close one. 29-26. Titans on top here in Seattle. Moments ago, inside the Huskies huddles, we take a look at the career here in Seattle for Lorenzo Romar. We know the defense was the problem against Yale. The Bulldogs with 98 points in an upset win here in Seattle. What'd you make of what Lorenzo was just talking about?
He's talking about crowd and making put on the floor. Obviously, he's talking about Trey Coggins because that guy, if you give him any kind of room, he's going to knock down those three-point shots. I would have told him if he goes to the bathroom, go with him. You got to follow that guy everywhere. But that's pretty much what Lorenzo is talking about, running Trey Coggins off that three-point line, making him put the ball on the floor, and hopefully get some help if he tries to drive to the basket.
We are just at the under 8 mark here in the first half. The only Husky with multiple fouls, is maybe the most valuable, Markelle Fultz. 9 points, 2 fouls. Fultz has knocked down 3 3-pointers as Claire is at the line. Kick is Fultz had it in his possession. It'll be Thibault to inbounds.
Yeah, if Cal State Fullerton is trying to give the Huskies a different look every few times down court.
Fultz crosses over, kicks. Screen to Thibault, quickly releases.
There he is, Matisse Thybulle coming off a career high 20 against Yale. Finally gets in the scores column.
Top returning three-point shooter for the Huskies, 37% last year. It's Thybulle on Leinart Leslie at the top. Both teams have hit 6 3-pointers here in the first half, with not many more attempts. As this goes the Huskies' way.
That was good defensive help by Matisse Thybulle. Got his hand in there, deflected that ball off of Kyle Allman's leg.
You ready for this? Thybulle against Yale, 18 total deflections. That includes 6 blocks. Lorenzo Romar says that he's been here now his 15th season, as we've talked about. They keep track of deflections, rerouting the ball. He can never remember any time where a single player had 18 in one game.
He's a phenomenal athlete and a great defensive player.
Fultz, nice arch.
As we look at a great offensive player, Markelle Fultz, showing he can also make the short jumpers.
Crisp on Leslie with a handoff pass up top to Allman. Now, Coggins has been quiet all of a sudden. He fades back, and he's mortal. He misses. Dime the rebound.
Yeah, the only thing to cool him off was his coach when he took him out and gave him a rest.
Yeah, that was surprising to see him on the bench for so long.
I was as well.
Thybulle on one bounce, puts it up.
I'll tell you what, Aaron, that's the difference I see in Matisse Thybulle. He couldn't do that last year. He couldn't put the ball on the floor and create a shot like that. You can tell he's been working on his game over the summer.
Thybulle with 7 now. Coggins' last made bucket was at the 12:29 mark as we approach 6 minutes to play in the first half. Dime with the swat.
Yeah, that's what Malik Dime does, protect the basket.
Crisp able to save it. Here is Fultz. And a foul on Fultz at the free throw line. That goes against Leslie, his first.
Yeah, we see Malik Dime here, one of the best rim protectors in all the Pac-12 conference. Claire thought he had an easy lane. Malik Dime said, not today.
One-on-one chance here for Fultz. Dime, of course, last year with the single season block record. Against Yale, the Huskies tied a program record. Of course, this is a program that's been around for over 100 years. 15 blocks against Yale.
12 of them between 2 guys. 6 for Malik Dime and 6 for Matisse Thybulle.
Last touch off the Titans.
Yeah, I know that's going to drive Coach Diedrich crazy. You don't rebound off a missed free throw. That's unacceptable.
Taylor, the former Sun Devils assistant with Herb Sendek. Crisp gets doubled up. And a jump ball.
I'll tell you what, he looked like he got away with a travel to me here. Either way, ball goes over to Cal State Fullerton.
Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Huskies helped out by an 8-0 run, now lead it by 4. Coggins trying to create something. Back door. Left hand off the glass and rolling through Darcy Malone's first bucket.
I'll tell you what created that. They're paying so much attention to Trey Coggins. Nobody paid attention to Malone in that play.
Fultz spins, gives, Dime with one-hand authority.
And the big fella throwing it down with his left hand. But how about the dish from Markelle Fultz? Man, that was nice.
First bucket from the floor for Dime. Thybulle. Loose ball. Still loose.
Somebody got to get on the floor.
Eventually. Oh, my goodness.
Shot clock violation.
Well, now, this is a scene right here.
Nobody wanted it, Aaron.
And they are mopping every possible spot on the floor. Lorenzo Romar wants an explanation. This is about as much FaceTime as these guys are going to see all season.
Hey, you take it. No, you take it.
Well, the officials seemed like they were calling time themselves, and now Cal State Fullerton comes up with it. They get on the inbounds as Rose fighting for space. And a whistle call, and Lorenzo Omar is not at all pleased.
He's going to blow a gasket over there on the sideline. And look at it. He's barking at the refs.
Second foul on Dickerson. That ball went from being possessed by the Huskies to being inbounds by the Titans to a foul on Dickerson.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was to give that ball back to Cal State Fullerton.
We know this, there have never been so many towels at once on the floor. We're told that they called a 10-second backcourt violation, but wouldn't you think that you'd have to have clear possession for 10 seconds?
You would think so.
And that would certainly be up for debate. Rowe gets the first one. He's got 6 points.
Jackson Rowe is a nice-looking freshman. Got a nice body on him.
18 points, 8 boards against Portland State. Bags both. Fultz with 12 in the first half. Here's Thibault down on the floor.
Yeah, he got bailed out because he had nowhere to go on that drive.
Titans foul number 1, Trey Coggins. That's his first personal
That's the first foul on Coggins.
19 fouls on Fullerton.
9 team fouls here in the first half now for the Titans.
I tell you, when T. Stiebel realizes how good he could be, man, he's going to be dangerous. He was a late bloomer, Aaron. You know, wasn't highly recruited early in his career. Kind of blew up on the scene going from his junior to senior year, and now he's the best defender for the Huskies.
Local product out of Eastside Catholic. Got 9 on the night. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Huskies by 4. And Coggins has been absolutely silent after he exploded with 17 points very early in this game. Leslie losing it into the corner. Allman puts it up. Crisp wants a 3, and he fires and hits.
Yeah, David Crisp can do that. He can flat out shoot the ball. You can't relax and put your hands down on him, or you hear that hands down, man down.
He's 2 for 3 from downtown. Biggest lead of the game for the Huskies.
That's 3 on Nora Dickerson. That's not good.
Give the foul number 15, Noah Dickerson. That's his third personal foul.
We will not see much more of him here in the first half, you'd imagine. Timmons takes his place.
Number 33, Sam Timmons, back in for the Huskies.
Dickerson with 4 points.
I think he was in Malone's cylinder that time, Aaron. What do you think?
It's a safe bet. Darcy Malone to the line, 1-1. Good rebound by Dime. Fultz pulls up. Timmons the rebound. He's able to get it through.
Yeah, nice offensive rebound and put back by Sam Timmons.
Suddenly a 10-point lead for the Huskies. Offensive rebounds a big factor here in the first half. 7 for the Dogs, nothing for the Titans. In fact, look beyond just the offensive boards. It is staggering the difference. 17 boards for the Huskies, just 2 for the Titans. And you see Malik Fultz, Markelle Fultz, pardon me, with 12 points in the first half as Dime cleans things up. sneak peek of what's coming up on the State Farm halftime report with Kate Rooney. Valpo visiting number 4 Oregon. Also Colorado taking on Louisiana Monroe. The Warhawks. All that coming up at halftime. Life Elevated as we take a look at the Utah Office of Tourism presenting Life Elevated here. As we've been talking about with T. Steibel, some easy ups as he takes care of that.
Yeah, he's a sensational athlete, you know, getting more and more confidence as each game he plays. Came in being known for his defense, but like I said, had a career high 20 last game against Yale. Really nice kid.
Well, Lorenzo Romar has to be pleased with the rebounds for the Huskies and lack thereof for the Titans. 17 boards for the Huskies. You can count 2 rebounds all night so far for Cal State Fullerton.
Aaron, I don't think I've ever seen a team 16 minutes into the half with just 2 rebounds. That's unbelievable.
That's hard to do. Darcy Malone gets the first, not the second, and another rebound, this time brought in by Matisse Steibel. Fultz with a dozen in the first half. Trying to free up Fultz to Crisp. Wants his third three-pointer, and he finds it.
I'll tell you, Markelle Fultz is so unselfish. He probably could have took that shot if he wanted it, but kicked it to a wide-open David Crisp, and David Crisp nails it.
Evander DeRusso on the floor now for the Huskies. Worth mentioning again, Coggins has done absolutely nothing since about the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that extended rest really kind of took him out of his rhythm because he was on fire. He wasn't missing anything.
5 for 5 Coggins. You can see him here from behind the arc at the time. 17 points. Third foul on Timmons. So a couple of the bigs for UW. Timmons and Dickerson both with 3 first-half fouls.
Yeah, that was a pattern we saw a lot last year with Marquise Chris and Nora Dickerson picking up a lot of fouls in the first half.
Jackson Rowe misses the first.
Number 22, Richard Peters.
So Timmons to the bench. Dime comes back in.
Number 10, Malik Dime for the Huskies.
Meanwhile, Richard Peters, 6'11" senior out of Toronto, on the floor for the Titans. Rowe gets the second. He's got 8 first-half points. The last 3 coming from the stripe. Crisp hunting the 3 again. Caruso swats for it, but instead it's Rowe who controls it. Under 3 minutes, 10-point lead for UW.
Yeah, the Titans got lucky on that play. You got to stay attached to David Crisp because he can flat out shoot the basketball.
Coggins penetrating, floats it in. He rattles it home.
And I tell you, Aaron, he is tough offensively, man. He can shoot the 3. That time showing that he can put it on the floor and finish in the lane as well.
He is 8 for 9 from the floor. And the double bonus. Allman's second.
You know what's kind of, I don't know if strange is the right word about Markelle Fultz. You know, he kind of just looked like he's just going through the motion. And the next thing you know, you look up, he's got 12 points. Make that 13 with a chance to make it 14 here in the first half. And it's not like he's coming down gunning. Even last game, Aaron, when he had 30, I didn't feel like he was coming down hunting shots. He just kind of is a real laid-back guy.
He doesn't seem like he sweats much, Eldridge. And yet, you're right. You look at the stat sheet at the end of the night, and it's stuffed full.
And I guess he's played like that his entire career. Markelle will get a breather with 14 here in the first half.
Dominic Green checks in. Leslie up against Crisp. Just heaves this back. Dangerous pass. Woshika able to control it. Goggins the head fake. And a foul on Thibault.
Yeah, that was a great ball fake. Even though he was 26 feet out, you got to honor it because he's been hitting him.
First foul on Thibault.
Trey Coggins is a smart offensive player, Aaron. When a guy's on a roll like he is offensively, any kind of head fake, you got to honor it.
Coggins, a fantastic free throw shooter last year, shot over 85%, gets the second. He's at 20 points now. It's a game high. Dime's given a little bit of space here. Gives it up. Dominic Green on the wing. And a whistle underneath as Richard Peters gets tangled up with Dime. Peters rather, his second.
Yeah, even though Richard had inside position, looked like he was holding Malik Dime on that play.
In recent years, the Huskies have always had multiple captains voted on by the players themselves. This year, Dime the only captain.
I think because he's the only senior. I'm not sure if that's the case, but you know, Lorenzo Romar really loves to honor and showcase his seniors, so I think that's pretty much why he's got Malik Dime being a captain solo this year.
From Dakar, Senegal, fluent in 5 languages. This is the second. English, Arabic, Spanish, French, and Wolof, the native language of Senegal. What a spin here. Dime going after it. As Lionheart Leslie looking for his first points of the night.
Yeah, that was a nice drive by Lionheart Leslie. A little spin move, but a strong take to the basket. Malik Dime had to foul him.
Second foul on Dime. So in terms of the bigs for the Huskies and fouls with under 2 minutes to go, Dime has 2. Dickerson and Timmons with 3.
Yeah, they got to really be careful, Aaron. They don't want all the bigs to have 3 fouls going into halftime. We still have 1:44 left in the half here. So Malik Dime's going to have to play really smart this last minute, 44 seconds.
Leslie, who had 16 points against the Huskies last year with his first point on the night. Evander DeRusso controls the loose ball. 9-point lead for Washington as we approach the 92nd mark. Thibault, pretty pass. Dime can't hold on. And Leslie runs into Crisp, who was whistled for a foul. Wrong place, wrong time for David Crisp.
Yeah, that was just accidental contact right there, but that's going to send Cal State Fullerton to the free throw line. David Crisp can't believe it. Lorenzo Romar can't believe it.
Now Romar has passed the point of expression, it looks like. 2 shots coming for Leslie.
Lionheart Leslie from Homer, Louisiana. That's down near my neck of the woods, down just outside of New Orleans.
Gets both. Thibault wide open. Coggins going to keep up with him.
Yeah, you can tell by the way Thibault got his feet set, he was going to knock that bad boy down. He's playing with a whole lot more confidence offensively this year, Aaron.
Thibault in double digits. He's with 11. At the 1-minute mark. Leslie weaving through and a travel.
Lionheart trying to make his case that he held his pivot foot, but the ref said,
Do reenactments work like that?
I don't think so. I haven't seen the ref change the call yet, Aaron.
Good effort, though. Dominic Green hanging and finishing.
Nice strong finish by Dominic Green.
Timeout called by the Titans. 39 seconds to go. Pac-12 Network has your Friday night fix for men's basketball at 5. Coach K's Utes play host to Coppin State, followed by Sacred Heart in Arizona at 7. Coverage begins Friday at 5 on Pac-12 Network or watch on the Pac-12 Now app. Of course, Arizona getting that win in their opener against Michigan State at the buzzer. Well, that starts tomorrow as we take a look at the top 10. Oregon with a recent loss to Baylor in the all-uniform bowl. A lot of highlighter yellow in that one, no doubt.
Oh, uniform bowl. I like that one. Yeah, you got to put your sunglasses on when you watch Oregon versus Baylor.
Boy, there's no doubt about that. Arizona checking in at number 10. A lot of questions still on Alonzo Trier, what his status will be this year.
Yeah, I think he'll be the difference maker for Arizona. If he plays, they got a great chance to go deep. If not, I'm not so sure.
Leslie losing his dribble, getting it off to Coggins. Coggins from Curry range. Chance for last shot here.
Yeah, that was a deep one right there, but he has the green light, Aaron. His coach isn't going to say anything about shooting it from 28 feet.
Under 10 seconds. Chris puts it up. Thibault can't hold on. And now with 5.3 seconds left in the first half, it's Titans ball.
Yeah, that's enough time for Cal State Fullerton to get a look before the half is over here.
And they bring in John Paul Mejia, the 6'10" freshman out of Madrid. It's pretty serious here. Mejia on the floor, but now timeout call.
You like that dude that he's wearing?
That's impressive. Bringing his A game with 5 seconds left in the first half.
That's how they do it in Spain,
I
baby.
guess so. By the way, we're checking in on the rebound total. We know that this has been such a priority for Lorenzo Romar, whose Huskies gave up 21 offensive rebounds to Yale on Sunday. This is still almost unbelievable. Huskies with 20 rebounds. The Titans, Eldridge, with 5. They have 5 rebounds in the first half.
And a half. You know, normally one of your bigs to get 5 rebounds and a half. That's unheard of, man.
And none of those rebounds on the offensive glass.
Wow. Unbelievable. Now that'll be something Dedrick Taylor will talk about at halftime. 5 rebounds and a half. I don't think I've ever seen a stat that low before for rebounds and a half. Have you?
No, and for midway through the first half, they had only 2. And picked up the pace. Leslie at the horn, not close. And at the half, the Huskies with a healthy 53-42 lead, looking for their first win of the season after dropping the opener to Yale. Huskies on top of the Titans as we are at halftime. State Farm halftime report coming up in just a moment. State Farm halftime report rolls along here from inside Alaska Airlines Arena in Seattle, Washington. An 11-point lead for the Huskies, looking for their first win of this young season, hosting the Cal State Fullerton Titans. Welcome back inside Heckhead. Aaron Goldschmidt alongside with Eldridge Kastner, Huskies Hall of Famer. And Eldridge, this first half, it has to be nice for Lorenzo Romo to go into halftime with a lead.
I think he's pretty excited. Only giving up 5 rebounds to Cal State Fullerton. I know for a fact Lorenzo Romo is excited.
Well, Trey Coggins, we talked all about him in the open. He put up 18 three-pointers in his last game, a double overtime win against Portland State. And Coggins simply could not be stopped in the first, call it 10 minutes or so of this game. He's got a game-high 20 points, 5 of 6 from downtown.
Aaron, he was on fire. He put on an absolute clinic, and the only thing that could cool him off was his coach. Took him out of the game to give him a breather, and that's the only thing that slowed Trey Coggins down.
And that was a little surprising for us, not only that he was taken out, but the length of time that he was taken out for. On the other side, Markelle Fultz, 14 points to pace the Huskies in the first half.
Markelle plays with so much composure. For a freshman, he doesn't get rattled. He's showing us that he can knock down the 3-ball. He never loses his cool, Aaron. Here he is again, knocking down another 3. Markelle Fultz is the real deal.
Pretty cool and calm in the first half. And his last game as well as Huskies debut, winning around 30 here at home against. We take a look at the first half stats. The turnovers for the Huskies, a problem, points off the turnovers for Cal State. You can see 19. But how about the rebounds? You mentioned it a moment ago. 20 boards for the Huskies, 5. That's it, count them, 5 for Cal State Fullerton.
I've never seen anything like it before, Aaron. What about 5 minutes ago, they only had 2. So like you said, unheard of for a team to have only 5 rebounds in the first half.
We're on our way right back here to Seattle. The second half between the Huskies and the Titans after this timeout. Huskies by 11 at the break as we are moments away from the second half from inside Alaska Airlines Arena. Huskies looking for their first win on this very early season as Fultz has 14 points in the first half. He's knocked down 3 three-pointers. Markelle Fultz, the freshman out of Maryland, McDonald's All-American, 30 points in 36 minutes on Sunday against Yale. Now, how about this? We found this on Fultz's Twitter page now. Is this your range, Eldridge?
I can't even do that if I was looking.
And this is on Sunday before the game, and then once again back on social media. How about this dunk?
Yeah, Markelle Fultz has some serious hops, man. Look at this. With one hand in reverse. Hell of an athlete.
So Fultz with those 30 points on Sunday, most ever by a Huskies freshman in his debut. 4 for 6, 3 for 4 from behind the arc. 4 assists as well, with 14 first-half points for Fultz.
He's a real laid-back kind of guy, Aaron. Doesn't show a lot of emotion. Look at him. He's just kind of like, yeah, I'm putting in work, but it's no big deal, like he expects it.
Off to a nice start. Huskies control it to begin the second half. Fultz gets it stripped, and an early turnover right away. Titans slowed things down. Here's Coggins with 20 first-half points. And Dime whistled for the foul. Palms up, can't believe it.
That's his third, Aaron.
Now, this is definitely an issue for Lorenzo Romar. Dime with 3 now. Dickerson with 3. Timmons with 3.
Yeah, they can't afford for all their bigs to be in foul trouble. Somebody got to stay out of foul trouble.
Matthew Attaway has not played much. Coggins a 3. Dime needs to be much closer to keep him from shooting that.
I was thinking the same thing. You're giving him too much room, big fella.
Thibault a 3 from the wing. Timmons battling for it, and it's picked up. Leslie tucks it and is fouled by Thibault. That gives him a hand. Leslie's slow to get up.
And that was a hard, tough foul by Matisse Thibault. Lionheart Leslie took a pretty good hit.
Turkey Washington foul number 4, Matisse Thibault. That's his second personal foul. 2 team fouls.
So 2 quick fouls in under a minute by the Huskies.
You know, Aaron, as Lionheart Leslie goes to the line, the reigning Big West Player of the Week, Kyle Ullman's been pretty quiet, man. 0 for 3, only 2 points at halftime. If Cal State Fullerton is going to get back in this game, he's going to have to get it going.
A part of the reason he won that award, 27 points versus Portland State, that double overtime win. Lead cut to 9. Crisp with 9 points in the first half on 3 3-pointers. Fultz to Timmons on the elbow. Fultz steps back. He's fouled.
Yeah, Markell has a, 3 or 4 inch height advantage over Lionheart Leslie. He plays so effortless, Aaron. You know, it's like he's not even trying, man.
This is something that people have told Markell, that he needs to be more aggressive, and this isn't just saying that they've told him since coming to UW, but it sounds like over the course of his even high school career as well, that he needs to be more aggressive, needs to hunt for his shot more and more. But Lorenzo Romar is saying today that it's not so much being aggressive and just taking shots all the time, but he'd like to see him, as Romar said, in attack mode, and that means offensively, defensively, passing the ball, rebounding the ball as well.
I just don't think it's his nature. I don't think that's the type of young man that he is. He's a real laid-back guy, loves to pass the basketball, not real selfish.
He's got 15 now on the night. Coggins with the entry pass to Malone. Titans swinging around. Quick touch pass from Malone, and the put through is good. Nice ball movement that time as Jackson Rowe finishes off. He's now got 9, make it 10.
Yeah, beautiful pass by the big man, Darcy Malone.
Fultz foul.
You know, Aaron, as we say all this stuff about him not being aggressive, who do you know that wouldn't want to have 15 points, you know, with 18 minutes to go in the half? He's a quiet scorer. You know, he just is.
Second foul on Malone. As Fultz finds himself at the free throw line once again.
You know, I drove down to Portland last year and watched him in the Les Schwab Classic. And the thing I came away most impressed with, Aaron, was his ability to chase people down and block shots on the fast break. We saw an example of that in the first half, but he's really good at that for a point guard.
Fultz with 17. Timmons contests. Thibault comes up with it. Here is Crisp. Crisp taking, and he gets bumped.
Yeah, David Kiss is a really strong guard. He's only about 6 foot, 6'1", but he's well built. Took that in there like a running back.
Third foul on Leslie.
Lionheart Leslie clearly disagrees with the call as he walks over to the ref to try to get an explanation. But he'll have to have a seat.
Number 10, Austin Awoshika, checking in for Fullerton.
Now Crisp, the sophomore out of Tacoma. Played at Rainier Beach, won a state title to DeJounte Murray, who was one and done here with UW. Timmons and Dime trying to block that, but put through. Awoshika with his now 4 points on the night.
That was a nice finish there, and attacked the big fella, finished with his left hand.
Timmons backing down, trying to go with the hook. Malone the rebound. Rowe gives it up, and Zalman gets fouled.
Yeah, good foul, though, because that was clearly going to be an easy lay-in. If that's on Thibault, that's his third.
And it is. 3 fouls for Thibault, 2 in the second half. Allman gets the first.
Yeah, we talked about Allman being the reigning player of the week in the Big West Conference. He's been really quiet. He's going to have to get it going, and maybe these free throws can do that for him.
Well, he's 0 for 4 from the floor. He's been in double digits each of the first 2 games of the season for the Titans. Just 4 points tonight. Thibault. Coggins, 19 points in the first half. Has been held scoreless so far since the break. Malone straightaway 3. Here is Fultz.
Yeah, Darcy Malone, a 7-footer. Seems more comfortable out on the
transition. Yeah, surprised by that shot from Malone.
No, not anymore. That's what the 7-footers do these days. They shoot threes. They don't play in the paint anymore.
That's Josh Hawkinson, Chris Boucher. Very aggressive from Crisp. Coggins on the baseline. Another 3 try for Malone. Hits this one.
Yeah, the big fella said, take that, Elvis McCaslin.
Well, Titans climbing back into this one. They cut the Huskies lead to 4. Fultz up and under, and he puts it in.
That was beautiful, man. What a sweet reverse by Markelle Fultz, showing why he's one of the #1 freshmen in the country.
Fultz a team high 19 points. Awoshika, a lot of dribbling, floats this through.
Awoshika's giving us some good minutes off the bench here in the second half, Aaron.
Dominic Green checking in. Malone whistled for his third.
Number 22, Richard Peters, in for Cal State Fullerton.
Peters checks in for Malone. 6'11" big man, the senior out of Toronto. Fultz thought about it. Spins, weaves, up and through. What a finish by Fultz.
I thought the last reverse layup was nice, but that one was sweeter. Markelle Fultz with the dipsy-do scoop reverse. Wow.
A game high 21 now for Markelle Fultz. Dominic Green loses position. Allman, and now it goes through. Fultz contested, blocked. Awoshika in transition, the skip pass, a foul, and Rowe will shoot 2.
Yeah, but more importantly, that's going to be 4 on Nora Dickinson.
Timeout on the floor. How about these moves from Markelle Fultz?
You won't see 2 prettier reverse lands there. This kid is sweet, man. He's living up to all the hype.
Wow. This Pac-12 men's basketball game is presented by Clean Crisp Coors Light. This Pac-12 men's basketball game is presented by Clean Crisp Coors Light. With great beer comes great responsibility. And by Black Bear Diner, good old-fashioned family food. And by Supercuts. Save time. Check in online with our mobile app or at supercuts.com. Welcome back to Seattle. It's at Alaska Airlines Arena. Aaron Goldsmith alongside former Huskies great Eldridge Kastner. An 11-point lead for the Huskies at halftime. And now Cal State Fullerton beginning to chip into things. Huskies lead trimmed to 4. And Markelle Fultz has been putting on a show. He's now got a game-high 21.
Yeah, you know, in the first half, it was all Trey Coggins launching bombs from three-point range. But this half, Markelle Fultz has stole the show with some dipsy-do reverse lay-ins, putting Cal State Fullerton in the spin cycle on that last one there.
Jackson Rowe has 10 points. He's at the line for 2 after he was fouled by Noah Dickerson. And this has become a storyline of the night for the Huskies. Foul trouble for the UW Bigs, and Dickerson is leading the charge now with 4 fouls. Timmons has 3. Dime has 3.
Yeah, that's something that was really common last year, you know, but you wasn't so surprised that those guys were freshmen, but they can't continue to pick up those fouls like that in the first half.
Attaway on the right, Timmons in the middle. Dominic Green on the deck. Puts it up, and it goes through off the glass.
Yeah, that just goes to show you that prayers are sometimes answered, because I thought that was a bad shot, Aaron, but he got it to go down.
Backdoor pass. DeRusso getting some more playing time, trying to stop that from happening, but can't.
And that was a beautiful backdoor cut and a great reverse lane and finish by Jamal Smith.
His first bucket on the night. Thibault trying to find DeRusso. It stays with the Huskies. You can see Dickerson with 4. Thibault, Dime, Simmons all with 3. Fultz on the baseline. Thibault almost loses it, and a jump ball.
Yeah, good defense by Cal State Fullerton. They absolutely collapsed on him. The Chiefs had nowhere to go. UW is going to turn the ball over on the possession arrow.
Titans have already surpassed their rebound total in the second half from what they had in the first. They had just 5 boards in the first half. Yeah, DeRusso will be whistled for a foul.
You know, UW's bigs, man, they're reaching over the back. You just can't do that. As a player, you have to be aware of the way the officials are calling the game, and they're calling it really tight, so you got to play smart.
DeRusso appeared in 16 games last season. Dime guarded the inbounds. Only a 2-point lead for the Huskies. Easy put in with the right hand by Richard Peters. And this game is suddenly tied. That 11-point halftime lead has been erased.
It just vanished in the first 7 minutes here of the second half.
Fultz foul.
That just was great passing on that last possession by Cal State Fullerton. Really unselfish play. And the big fella Peters finished it.
Fullerton foul, number 22, Richard Peters.
Peters whistled for his third foul. We've seen Fultz at the line many times here in the second half. And here is Coggins, his last main bucket at the 2:37 mark in the first half. 20 points in the first half, nothing so far since the break.
Yeah, I think he's going to come out firing here these last 13 minutes somewhere, and I'm willing to bet everything I got on that one.
Gets both. 23 for Fultz. Titans 7 for 11 in the second half. Lead back to 2 for the Huskies. Stays with Cal State Fullerton as Claire lofted.
Yeah, you know, if I'm the Huskies, I don't close out hard on Devon Clare because he doesn't want to shoot that outside shot. He wants to take the ball to the basket. I'll kind of bait him into that jump shot a little bit.
Rowe gives it up. Hang time and a swat from Dime as he knocks that down from Awoshika.
Yeah, that's what Malik Dime does. Protect the basket. Great shot blocker.
Nice screen from DeRusso. Fultz taking and can't finish. He'll take it to the line for 2 again.
Man, Aaron, he makes it look so easy. He gets to the cup so easy. And look at those arms. Look how long his arms are.
And we noticed that even during warm-ups today.
Yeah, he's got really long arms, man. Never out of control, always under control. He's living at the free throw line, but he missed that one.
Matisse Thybul's had a quiet second half. He checks out as Crisp comes in. Bags his second one. Fultz now 24. Remember, he had 30 on Sunday in his Huskies debut. 3-point lead for UW. That's DeRusso, his second.
Yeah, just another senseless foul, though, Aaron. You just can't pick up those types of fouls.
Both sides with 16 fouls here in the second half. Awoshika at the point with Crisp on him. There's Coggins, 20 points in the first half. Kicks it out, finds Rowe. Rattles out, Dime. And another whistle.
I think they're going to call that over the back on Devon Clare.
That's his third foul.
I know you love all the fouls. You know, when we get into the free throw shooting contest with 12:47 left.
You've seen plenty of that. 1-1 coming here for Dime. Too strong. Clare the rebound. Awoshika on the deck going up against Dime. Dime wants no part of a potential foul. And Awoshika puts it through. Huskies lead has been now cut to 1.
I tell you, Aaron, Austin Awoshika isn't afraid to take that ball right in the chest of the big man.
Crisp loses it. And it stays on this end. Jump ball Mejia checks in. He's barely been on the floor tonight as Clare goes to the bench with 3 fouls. Timmons back in for DeRusso. Timmons 4 points, 3 fouls. Freshman out of New Zealand. Fultz steps through from the stripe.
Yeah, nice move by Markel, folks. He seems to have all the moves, all the counters, Aaron.
He's got a game high 26.
And we're talking about he's not being aggressive. How you like that?
Just so smooth. Coggins trying to get something going, steps into a three and buries it.
I told you, Aaron, I knew he wasn't going to stay quiet this whole second half. Huskies got to be careful he doesn't get it going again.
He ties this game at 68, under 12 to play. Dominic Green left wide open from the wing. Malik dime, pulls down the board, foul. Jean-Paul Mejia, the freshman out of Madrid. This game has become very tight all of a sudden. That 11-point halftime lead erased, and the latest to join the party in the second half, Trey Coggins.
Here we direct your attention down to the east baseline. It's time for tonight's minute to win it three-legged race. Our two teams must race to the other end of the court, grab basketballs, finish by dribbling back, and make a layup over on the west basket. The first pair to make both of their shots will within the time frame win a set of Husky prize packages. A warm Husky welcome to tonight's teams. It's Emily and Samantha wearing the purple, and Alec and Derek in the white. Time for your minute to win it. It starts in 3, 2, 1, go. And it'll take a little teamwork. Steady three-legged walking. The guys with a slight lead. Now both pick up basketballs, turn around and dribble. This gets a little complicated. Little bit of rhythm. Girls kind of making a comeback here. At the free throw line, can they make their baskets? Over 2 on their 1-and-1. Ladies are the winners. Emily and Samantha in the
All right, Eldridge, we might not find a prettier Reese's shoot for 2 all season long. How about these?
I agree with you. They were sweet, just like chocolate, baby. Markelle Fultz, on this one, he puts them in the spin cycle, Aaron. It's a beautiful reverse.
Now Fultz, a game high 26 points. Of course, for Fultz, this night began knocking down 3 three-pointers. That's how his first 9 points came. Then we saw him chipping away at the line, but recently we've seen him taking it all the way to the cup.
There's nothing he can't do. You know, he's gonna end these first 2 games averaging close to 30 points a game, and yet we're here talking about he doesn't look like he's playing hard. He's not being aggressive. Unbelievable.
Now Fultz had 30 right on the nose on Sunday in his Huskies debut against Yale. Most points ever scored in program history by a freshman in his debut. His dime at the front of the 101.
Yeah, he's on pace to surpass 30 tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Projected by almost all the mock drafts to possibly go #1 overall, Aaron. That's amazing.
No doubt one of the most highly touted freshmen in the country. Dime gets both. 2-point lead for UW. Under 12 minutes to go. A foul sends this the other way.
Yeah, that's that old on-ball screen. You know, I talked about it earlier. You move at all, they're going to call a foul. Big man has to hold his position.
Jackson Rowe, his second foul. He's got 12 points.
That's 9 team fouls.
Fultz on the deck. And a foul as Fultz was on the move.
I get the feeling he's going to go in there and dunk on somebody one of these times, Aaron.
That's his first. Team foul number 10 on the Titans. Washington in the
Foul by Mejia underneath. 10 team fouls. And the double bonus. Nearly all the points tonight from Dime have come from the stripe. 5 of his 7.
Yeah, he's not really known as an offensive player, more of a rim protector and a defender, but his free throw shot is looking better tonight.
Lead for the Huskies at 4 now. Awoshika has a wide open lane. Fultz tries to close it. Timmons rips it down. Back to Fultz. And a travel. That is a point of emphasis for the officials, especially on the perimeter this year, and also down low. As Dickerson with 4 fouls. We've not seen him for a long time. He checks back in.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Let's see if he can stay in the game for a while before he picks up that 5th.
Dime has 3. He's on the bench now. Thibault on the ball in the quarter. Coggins lets it fly off the iron. Here comes Fultz.
And that was a great closeout by Matisse Thibault. Lorenzo Romar talked about crowding him in the first half, and that's what Matisse did that time. Forced a tough shot.
Fultz with one hand tries to finish.
I told you, Aaron. I had a feeling he was going to go in there and get somebody, man. He's got some hops. Young fella for just a freshman, he's got some flair. Look at this as we take it off the Birch.
Ooh. You can see that one brewing.
Yeah, he's going to get somebody before this season is over.
Second on Mejia.
2 shots.
Fultz with 27 now. Here's Malone checking back in.
He's 10 for 13 from the free throw line. He's been living at the line.
Now Fultz with 27 points in 24 minutes. 5-point lead for UW. Nice screen for Smith. Tucks it, puts it up over Timmons, not close. Dickerson gets the rebound. Here is Fultz bringing it across the stripe.
Yeah, Jamal Smith was just out of control on that play. Threw up a prayer and it wasn't answered.
Beating Timmons. Malone right behind him. Timmons looking for some kind of a move and an offensive foul instead.
Yeah, Timmons didn't look comfortable. It looked like he really wanted to pass that ball to somebody, Aaron. He didn't get it with the idea of trying to score. It was like he was looking for somebody to dish it to.
So he joins Dickerson with 4 fouls as Dime gets off the bench. Dime not much better. He's got 3.
This is a theme that played out a lot last year. All of the Husky bigs were getting into foul trouble, and here we are with 9:51 left. 2 guys with 4 and 1 with 3.
Dickerson knocks it loose. Here's Crisp. Dickerson off his right hip. Crisp steps through and is fouled.
Yeah, no, Dickerson got to be careful. He was reaching over the back that time. He's got to be careful. He doesn't pick up his 5th, Aaron.
That goes on Awoshika, his first. 2 shots coming for David Crisp. He's got 11 on the night.
No, David Crisp for the Huskies last year came off the bench but gave him some great minutes. This year he's starting. Nice stroke from the free throw line.
Now 7-point lead. Timeout called by Dedrick Taylor, and the Cal State Fullerton Titans trying to snap up, break up this 7-0 Huskies run. UW back on top. Huskies leading with under 10 minutes to go here from Seattle, 75-68. Sam Timmins, the freshman out of New Zealand. And during the summer, Huskies going on their once every 4-year trip, this time going to Australia and New Zealand as well. 8 flights in 11 days. And as you can tell by some of these photos, well worth it. 5 games, 10 practices for the Huskies. A couple of those flights, 15 hours, so a lot of miles racked up by the Huskies and the staff. Sam Timmins coming over from New Zealand, where he actually played in the New Zealand Professional League as an amateur in high school. He slimmed down a little bit from last year. In fact, his mother hardly recognized him when he came back to New Zealand on that trip, after spending months and months working with the strength and conditioning staff with the Huskies.
Number 20, Markel Fultz. That's his third personal foul. 18 fouls on the Huskies.
Well, we welcome those on the Pac-12 Network joining us here tonight from Seattle inside Alaska Airlines Arena. Aaron Goldsmith, Eldridge Kastner, as the Huskies led it by 11 at halftime over Cal State Fullerton. That lead was chipped away at, and the Titans tied it up not once but twice in the second half. But the Huskies have come storming back. Now lead 75-68 as we approach the 9-minute mark. As Matisse Thybulle and a blocking foul. Big story here tonight. Markel Fultz, to many the top freshman in the country, if not the top, one of the very best, most highly prized. Fultz with a game best 27.
Yeah, he's playing like the best freshman in the country. I tell you, kid is he's just silky smooth, doesn't lose control, doesn't show a lot of emotion. But man, he's a fantastic player.
Thybulle's first points in the second half. Remember, he had 20. And the opener on Sunday against Yale had a really very complete game. 4 boards, 6 blocks. Thybulle now with 12 on the night. Huskies 0-1 of the season, losing 98-90 on Sunday in their opener against Yale. Good take, but no finish from Allman, who's been quiet tonight with only 6 points. The reigning Big West, player of the week.
Yeah, Kyle Allman just can't get it going.
Dickerson from straight away knocks it in, his first point since the break.
Yeah, Nora Dickerson can really shoot that face-up jumper.
Stretches the lead to 10. 10-0 run for the Huskies. Here's Coggins, lets it fly. Remember, he had 20 in the first half. Dime able to hold on.
Yeah, the Huskies have done a really good job of containing Trey Coggins this half. He just can't seem to get it going either.
20 in the first, only 3 since the break. Dickerson on Malone, spinning, fading, pretty look. Can't put it through, though.
Yeah, I talked about Noah Dickerson's footwork and his ability to score on the block. a little forearm to the chest by Malik Dime.
That'll do it. Dime's 4th. He joins Dickerson and Timmins with 4 fouls. 10-point lead for the Huskies. Right now, we take a look at the close-shave player of the game presented by Barbasol. We've been talking about Markel Fultz, 27 points, had 30 on Sunday against Yale. What's impressed you the most, Eldridge?
What's impressed me the most? His composure. You know, for a freshman to run a team, to go out and score 27 points when it doesn't even look like he's trying, that's the thing that's been most impressive to me.
It's worthy of noting that even though Fultz does not necessarily look like the effort level is bounding through the rafters, that's not necessarily the case.
Well, he's so laid back, Aaron. You know, I mean, most of the time when guys score 27, you know, you go, wow.
Huffing and puffing.
Yeah, but he's just cool, calm, and relaxed like it's another day at the office. Every bit as good as advertised. I'll say that.
That's saying something.
That's saying a lot.
That's a lot of hype to match.
Hey, he's living up to it. I mean, can you imagine a freshman going out scoring 30 and back-to-back the first 2 games of his career? That's impressive, man.
You can see 30 against Yale on Sunday night. Tonight, 27. 7 for 10. Rowe is at the line. He's got 12 already. Making now 13 on the evening.
He's had a nice, solid ball game, too. I got to tip my hat to Jackson Rowe. For a freshman, he's come out and played really well.
He had 18 in the last game for the Titans. Also 8 rebounds versus Portland State and 2 overtimes. His last 4 points have come from the line. In fact, almost a majority of his points, half of them have come from the stripe tonight. Crisp has an open look, and he buries it. It's his 4th three-pointer tonight.
Yeah, I was just about to say Cal State Fullerton needs to stop. And David Crisp said, not on this possession. Take this with you. 3 ball.
Crisp has 15, stretching the lead to 11. Coggins only 3 points in the second half.
I tell you, Aaron, Matisse Thybulle has accepted the challenge and shut Coggins down this half.
Coggins looks like he might have gotten away with an extra step there. 5 seconds to shoot and a foul. Well, it's good you brought up Thybulle's name because Thybulle, as we mentioned, had that great offensive performance. 20 points against Yale, also threw in 6 blocks as well. His point production tonight has been much less, only 12, 11 of which came in the first half. But what he's been able to do as he picks up his 4th foul here defensively, how many points is that worth shutting down Coggins?
Well, that's probably the reason he isn't scoring. He's chasing Trey Coggins all over everywhere. And when you have an assignment like that, Aaron, it really takes a lot out of your legs, man. You're not so much thinking about the offense because you're concentrating so hard on stopping the other guy. And as we saw in the first half, Trey Coggins is a heck of an offensive player. So I tip my hat to Matisse Thybulle. He's pretty much shut him down in the second half.
10-point lead. Feeding dime, backing down. And another whistle.
Yeah, the refs, you know, for the bigs in the paint, you got to let them play a little bit. I'm not a fan of all these ticky-tack calls that they're calling.
4th foul on Devon Clare. For Dime, 6 of his 8 points so far have come from the free throw line. You can add to that list. Jackson Rowe checks back in. Clare to the bench.
Yeah, Clare's a little undersized to be trying to guard Malik Dime down there. Giving up about 4 inches.
Dime a chance for a double-double tonight. Now 10 points. He's got 8 rebounds. Well, the clock ticking over 5 minutes since the last Titans field goal. Straightaway 3 try. Coggins too strong. Green off the court gets the rebound.
Yeah, Coggins got to settle for some tough shots because the Huskies are really focused in on him, not giving him anything easy.
Dickerson wants a 3. Front iron. And this goes to Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, that might be just a hair outside of Noah Dickerson's range. He's pretty good from 15 to 18, but I don't know about from 20.
Oshika running the point. Kick out finding Ullman. Fultz trying to keep up with him, and the block underneath by Malik Dime. In transition, Fultz hunts the three. Close play there from Dickerson. Almost could have been whistled for his 5th foul. Short corner jumper, Jackson Rowe. He's got 16 on the evening.
Yeah, we talked about he's had a solid ball game here tonight. Jackson Rowe didn't bother to take that ball to the basket. He said, I'll just settle for this little short baseline jumper.
Got the lead to 10. Green in traffic, no finish. Rebound by Malone as Coggins. Outlet pass. Underneath the Woshika and one.
Yeah, Woshika's had a nice second half, and that's going to be it for Noah Dickerson as he fouls out. But Austin Woshika, he's been taking it right to the chest of the big men and finishing. Here we see a nice pass by Ullman, and Austin Woshika just takes it right into the chest of Noah Dickerson.
And for those keeping track at home, that was magic foul number 50 on the night.
50 fouls.
50 fouls.
Wow. I thought the new rules were supposed to help speed up the game and make it more fun and make it more interesting.
You know, that case has been made before, and it seems as though the officiating committee's theory on this is that once the players get a firm grasp of how these rules will be called, that things will be learned.
So you mean after 3 or 4 guys a game foul out on both sides? That's what you're talking about?
3-point play from Woshika. Dime trying to make a couple of moves. Left hand puts it in.
Malik Dime with his version of the dream shake. Nice little dream shake, left-handed jump hook from Malik Dime.
Woshika, 9 of his 11 have come in the second half. Haven't seen a whole lot of Lionheart Leslie lately. He's on the floor now. And a foul is called. That's on Fultz.
Yeah, you're right,
his
Aaron.
4th.
Lionheart Leslie set for a while.
Look at the foul trouble. Thibault with 4. Same story for Dime. Dickerson is done. Fultz has 4, and Timmons has 4.
Wow. Over 50 fouls called, and we still have 4:50 left to play.
Titans are starting to make just a little bit of noise.
Yeah, they get a stop right here, and this could get real interesting.
Under 5 minutes to go. Chris behind the back. Green spins with a left hand off the window and through.
A nice move by Dominic Green. You know, last year all he did was spot up shoot. You can tell he's been working on his game in off-season as well.
Woshika taking on Malik Dime, and Dime is able to win that one. Fultz in transition, one-hand hammer.
Markel Fultz with the hops, ladies and gentlemen. Man, this freshman is special.
29 points for Fultz. Coggins with Thibault on him. Dime with a fly swatter. You gotta watch out if you're in the front row.
You ain't kidding. That looked like a volleyball spike. Wow. Left-handed at that, Aaron. Yeah, Malik Dime. He blocked that with his forearm. We got a steal possible. Yep.
Fultz with 30 points in his first 2 games. He's got 31 and counting here tonight.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Markel Fultz is a star. No doubt about that. Crowd up on his feet, Aaron. Here we see Markel Fultz on the break, ladies and gentlemen. Bam! He's got some hops. The Markel Fultz Show.
tip-off this Sunday. Visit GoHuskies.com for more information and to purchase your tickets tonight. Brought to you by Pac-12 Networks, where champions play. All right, here are the Huskies. The UW cheer team armed with free T-shirts and certificates to the Ram. Looking for our loudest dog fans in attendance. Make some noise for the swag and the Ram.
One show now on multiple nights. Sports Report covers the Conference of Champions like no other, bringing you the best of the best from the coast on the West. Sports Report only on Pac-12 Network, or watch it on the Pac-12 Now app. That comes up right after we're done next, only on the Pac-12 Network. Time to take a look at tonight's game summary presented by Tire Pros. Trey Coggins, 20 points in the first, only 3 in the second half, but Markelle Fultz, 30 on Sunday against Yale Eldridge tonight, 31 on 9 to 13 shooting.
Aaron, he's been as good as advertised, man. He showed us a little bit of everything. He started off hitting threes, then he went to the basket with Michael Jordan-like dipsy-do reverse lands. Now we see him on the fast break dunking the ball like LeBron James. Markelle Fultz, special freshman.
McDonald's All-American, last year's Maryland Player of the Year. Preseason All-American on just about every watch list. Dime all over Peters. Leslie off the bounce, leaning forward with the scoop finish.
Yeah, nice strong move by Lionheart Leslie. He was determined to get that bucket.
11-point lead for the Huskies. Thibault in traffic bumped.
Nice, count it. Yes, sir. Matisse Thibault has expanded his game, Aaron. He couldn't do that last year. He couldn't put that ball on the floor and finish like that.
Chance for a three-point play for Thibault. And he gets it. So Thibault now with 15. We've talked about the stellar work he's done on defense against Coggins in the second half.
Yeah, he's done an absolute magnificent job on Trey Coggins. He's pretty much shut him down, Aaron. That's been a difference in this game.
Leslie behind the back, going right up against Dominic Green. He'll shoot two.
I tell you what, that Lionheart Leslie is playing like he's got a Lion's heart, man. He's tough.
First foul on Green.
Can't knock down the free throw, though. Got to be able to make your free throws.
Malone comes back in for Peters. Huskies by 14 with just over 3 minutes to go. It's 10 points for Leslie. Well, how many will Fultz finish with tonight? He's got 31. Fultz spins in traffic. We've seen him do this. What a pass and a violent finish with two hands. Slammed in by Malik Dime.
Yeah, just a beautiful pass by Markelle Fultz, and Malik Dime finishes it off with the big-time jam.
Dime finds himself with 14.
Man, that was a sweet dish, huh? Markelle Fultz living up to the hype, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's what makes him so special, isn't it? Not just the scoring ability, but just the overall basketball sense that he has.
He's really unselfish, Aaron. He's really, really unselfish.
Oshika kicks. Leslie fades from 3 and hits it. His first three-pointer on the night.
Folks wants to pick.
He gets it. Steps back from the elbow. 33 for Fultz.
Yeah, there's nothing he can't do on the offensive end, Aaron. He's got it all, baby. Step back, dunks, threes, reverse lay-ins, you name it.
Fultz is 10 for 14 from the floor. He's 10 for 14 from the free throw line.
Unreal.
Malone. Point blank range puts it in.
Yeah, nice pump fake by Darcy Malone.
Chance to reach the century mark for the Huskies. Under 90 seconds. Thibault, a bullet pass to Crisp, and a slight head fake puts it through for 100.
Yeah, beautiful pass by Matisse. Defense fell asleep that time, and David Crisp made him pay.
45th time in school history reaching 100 points. Leslie hanging to put it through.
Yeah, Leslie putting the wash machine on spin cycle itself, Aaron. Nice move.
Under a minute. Timeout called by Lorenzo Romar. And a reminder that when this one comes to a close, those of you watching on the Pac-12 Network will send you off to Sports Report.
Yeah.
188 Washington on top. Seconds away from what would be their first win of the season.
As we look at the man of the hour right there in the middle of that huddle, Markelle Fultz. 10 for 14 from the field, 10 for 14 from the free throw line.
Oh, right here on Pac-12 Network on Sunday versus Northern Arizona. That's the next game up for Fultz and the Huskies. Tuesday, Long Beach State, Western Kentucky. So plenty of action coming up on the slate for the Huskies, as Markelle Fultz has been simply sensational once again here tonight. 3 times last year the Huskies scoring 100 points. They'll do that in their first win of the season here this evening. Fultz is fouled.
Yeah, too much hands by Lionheart Leslie on that play.
He's got 4.
You know, folks, he just doesn't get rattled. You know, Lionheart Leslie's a pretty tough kid, really aggressive defender, and Markelle just goes where he wants to go.
Now with 34 in the night.
I think a lot of folks out there that may be watching Markelle Fultz for the first time wondered if he was good, as all the hype you've been hearing. If you had a chance to watch this entire ball game, you can see he has a complete package offensively.
Dan Kingwood checking in. A walk-on turned scholarship player out of Mill Creek, Washington.
As Markelle Fultz gets a nice round of applause from the fans here tonight.
Finishes with 35 points, 21 of those coming in the second half.
Wow. 35 in the second game. But he's only going to be here for 1 year, I think, Aaron.
Well, especially if he keeps this up.
Get a good look now, ladies and gentlemen.
Badumba Baruti checking in for the Huskies as well. Greg Bowman on the floor too.
Yeah, Trey Coggins just couldn't get it going in the second half.
Kingman with the steal and a hard collision of the LED boards. Leslie, pretty dish. No finish on the other end by Rowe. Quinn Barnard brings it across. A walk-on, a freshman out of Bellevue. Of course, the crowd wanting Kingman to put it up from deep as Carlos Johnson, his first points as a Husky.
Carlos Johnson said, I'm not running out this clock, baby. I'm trying to get in the scorebook. Nice dunk by Carlos.
Huskies pick up their first win, 104-88 over Cal State Fullerton. Lorenzo Romar's Huskies 1-1 of the season, and it goes without saying, Markelle Fultz a talk of college basketball around the nation, and tonight, part of the reason why 35.
Yeah, he put on a clinic, Aaron. Came out shooting threes, taking the ball to the basket. You name it, he did it. Some nice passes. Markel, folks, a really special player. I really enjoyed watching him play tonight.
5 Huskies finish in double figures. And fine work by Matisse Thybulle as well. Thybulle helping to shut down Trey Coggins, who had 20 in the first half for the Titans. And Thybulle's defensive efforts able to limit Coggins to only 3 in the second half. Thanks for joining us. For all who made this one possible, for my partner Eldridge Kastner, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. Huskies win it. Good night from Seattle. Hi, Markel. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is Aaron and Eldridge.
How you doing?